simplicity. Back to the roots. This is episode 2 of going from a 5 to a +5. Big Dogs, do you think it's possible for me to go for a 5 to a +5?
Absolutely. 100%, zero doubt in my mind.
Appreciate that, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are headed all the way down to Miami, Florida. And we're going back to the old stomping grounds. We have 100 days to go from a 5 to a +5. I have a $1.99 iron right here and a soccer ball. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm pretty dialed in. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get right to the video. We have arrived here in Boca Raton. This is a full circle moment for me for a couple of reasons. One, I used to work here at Boca Lago in the cart barn. And two, down here in Boca is when it was the first trip I made when I started YouTube. It was when I met the Performance Golf fellas. And it was a funny story. The way I met them was Brixton and Donnie had posted this like video when it was raining and they were in their house and like chipping out of this house, out of this crazy house. And I had just started social media. And so I went over there and they challenged me to like a short game competition. It's on YouTube, you gotta go check that out. It was hilarious. It was like the first YouTube video I did. And those boys, and at the end of it, it was me, Stoney, and Doug. And we had just all quit our jobs. We were broke as hell. They had, even though Brixton beat me, he tossed all the boys some cash, which was pretty sick. We are headed over to the wedge facility here at Boca Lago. When I worked here, I would live over here. I'd pick the range, do all my stuff, and I'd like sneak over there to pick the wedge facility. But I just grab a little 60 degree and just come over here and just rip it. So we're going back to the roots. I go over here and I'll drop them. I'll go like 50 yards, 70 yards, 90 yards, and then I'll go transition from that. We'll go like 15-yard sequences, but it's important to continue to switch it up and go from different yardages, use different clubs. I'll go over everything that I do for wedges, super simple stuff. And yeah, let's rock and roll. All right, everybody, welcome to the Wedge Combine. I know you're asking, DOD King, why are all these golf balls set up out here? I ask myself the same question. There's no rhyme or reason to the distance. Everything's a feel shot. But here is where I do things differently. We're going to the same target. And we have 3 golf balls at each individual location, different lies, different distances, and I have 3 of my wedges. The purpose of the Wedge Combine is to make you think and then try to hit different shots with different golf clubs. Keep your mind active and continue to be an athlete on the golf course. So, first station, we're just gonna run through all of these. Starts with little pitch shots, and then we go on all the way back to probably like 120 yards or something. I didn't really think about it. I probably can't hit this that far, but we'll figure it out. So the whole purpose is to make yourself think and react to targets and different shots instead of being like a robot zombie. So we're just gonna run through this.
We got one miss there, and then a couple darts though. I'd say like this is pretty cool to look at and know your dispersion. Like these are all good. Those are These are kind of greasy. But like we threw some dots in here, and honestly, like if I ran through this again, which typically I would probably, I'm gonna run through this like 5 times, but we had the lightning delay. This is only gonna get better. This dispersion you're gonna see only come in, and as you see that, you start to get those little mental confidence and you know, it's almost like a high a little bit, because you're like, all right, I'm really starting to feel it. And then when you start seeing these shots in this golf course, you're like, I'm the man. If anybody wants to smoke, let's rock and roll, baby. So that's the whole key here, is just we're building up the confidence, analyzing results, and be like, all right, this is what I need to work on, this is what I learned, and it's important to track those things. But yeah, overall, I feel like I should have made like 4 of those, but it just didn't happen. That's all right. All right, so we ran through the wedge combine one more time, and obviously my dispersion got a lot better. We had one miss hit, which ended up right there, but like, I still feel like I'd make it, but I made like 8 of them. And we have made it to the range here at Boca Lago, and I'm gonna walk you guys through every single step that I take during my range sessions. When I was on my path from a +5 down to a 5, went the opposite way, I would just pull up to the range and aimlessly hit golf balls. Nothing had a purpose. Everything was just kind of trying to figure it out, going from swing thought to swing thought. And now every single thing I do is structured and has a purpose. So I'm gonna walk you through each individual step and what I do throughout it to improve my golf game. So to start everything off, I go through what I call dry repetitions, dry reps. Everybody just comes up and starts whacking golf balls, but now we have a purpose with everything. And all I'm doing during this is just taking a little wedge and really just trying to find the balance and the pressure points in my feet, have a neutral pelvis here, and a nice smooth, less tension in the hands, and just start really feeling the weight and the pressure in my feet, making sure it stays in the middle, because my tendency is I'll get on my toes, lean over the golf ball, and then come out of it. So without golf balls, I'm over here to start things out by really just trying to find that middle ground and neutral throughout the setup. And so I'll just take about 3 to 4 swings without a golf ball, just focusing on the setup. And then after that, the very first thing I do is work on my backswing. And so I'll do 3 repetitions with the square set. I'll go through a wedge, a mid iron, a long iron, and a driver. Get this thing dialed in here. And once again, without golf balls here, I'm just taking 3 swings, really just focusing on my hand position. So my tendency is I'll get a little bit cupped in my hand. And when you're using this, it has great feedback, because boom, as soon as you come out of it, this thing will touch this top of the wrist. And then if you can see this here, I have no connection between my forearm and that section of it. So all I'm doing is without a golf ball, and that's the key, is without a golf ball here, I'm just making sure my hand structure is proper so I don't start getting undone there. So once again, 3 reps with a wedge, with a mid iron, a long iron, and my driver. So I just do my checkpoint here, come to the top, and go. Wrist angles are dialed in. Now we're gonna hit some golf shots. So the first few drills that I do here are pause swing. I'm really focused on shortening up my swing to have less margin of error of golf shots. I keep on like overpowering the golf ball as soon as I get onto a golf course, and I just start jumping at it. All those tendencies come out, and I've learned over the years that I'd rather be 10 times more accurate than have more power. Perfect. And now I go back through each of those clubs and hit one full swing without the pause. We're trying to naturally implement it into my on-course swing, and to move that needle onto the course, you got to really exaggerate it on the range. So that's, I would say, is one of the most important things. That was pure. That was unbelievable. To make sure to transition it over to the golf course, you have to make sure that you're starting to get the speed in and incorporate the speed. And I like to do that at the end of the range session. So we're moving into one of my favorite training aids just for the feedback aspect of things. I think it's really important if you're going onto a range to have direct feedback if you are doing a drill correctly. That's the click stick. This is one of my favorite things in the world because you can load, lag, and release, and you get that instant feedback. And it really also starts to kind of up my tempo a little bit because I'm really starting to get that click on it every time. So once again, I'll go dry reps first, and this is really how you dial in your tempo. Now we got the tempo dialed, the body structured, and now we're gonna just start flushing golf shots. Got some more shells here. That is so pure. All right, we have to the final part of this video. We are on the putting green where I'm gonna make 500 5-footers. Obviously, I'm not gonna make you guys sit here and watch an hour of me making putts, but the key to this is going through your routine every single time. Because, I mean, it's easy if I just walked up here and just banged it in like that. Obviously, I'm really good because I'm a man. And then just come over here and I can just aimlessly do that, but you're not gonna get really better when you do that. So everything is about mindfulness and purpose behind it. So 500 times, we won't count that putt, where I'm going through my full routine, seeing the ball go into the cup, a lot of visualization. I just switched to right hand low, which I have not done in over 15 years. And the key to this is 500 makes. Will build confidence. It'll build that routine so that when you're on the golf course with that pressure putt, it is just going to be a subconscious effort where you're going to be a mechanic. You're just going to walk into it, the ball's going into the hole, and it's just literally a formality. All you got to do is just take the steps. It's too easy. So as you're building this routine, you're teaching your subconscious that when you go through this routine, you make putts. The final putt, hopefully, if we make it. Cash it out. 500 putts. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. It looks like some crazy weather coming in as well. That's what I do. I bring the storm. To do like a brief wrap up of everything, let me grab this. Let me be respectful. You know, I'm a man of the people. Boca Lago, shout out to Boca Lago for having me today. Let me practice and stuff. Trying to get better, man. This is the journey of going from a 5 to a +5. To wrap up an overall view of what I worked on today, we went to the range. We worked on setup. We worked on tempo. We worked on hand structure with that square set. We worked on rhythm and release with the click stick. I was doing my pause drills to get that backswing shorter. We headed over to the wedge facility and we did that wedge combine where you trying different shots out, learning different shots with each club. We learned some key factors in when to hit each shot, how to hit each shot, and gauging kind of the distance level. And then we came to this putting green and we made 500 5-footers. We're gonna just keep stacking these days on top of each other, even though I'm not where I'm at, where I wanna be right now. If I continue to do days like this, I will be. If I continue to put purpose and mindfulness into every single thing that I do, we will make it to being a +5. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a 5 to +5 journey. DOD King out. Hell yeah.